Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to make changes to the theme with the general display settings. Now the general display settings are located under the theme settings panel, so you just click on contract theme, then expand the general display settings panel, and what you'll find under this section is options for changing your logo, your header background image, your website background image and color, navigation bar color, all the basic stuff for changing the look and feel of your site. So go ahead and click on the general display settings tab under your contract theme settings panel. So first thing we want to do is go ahead and change our logo. Our logo is basically, this right here where it says contract theme. We're just going to go ahead and click choose file and upload a demo logo here. Now we've got a demonstration logo here. We're just going to go ahead and upload. And we're going to move on down to header background. You can go ahead and upload a different header background image. Now the header background image is basically, you see this little green bar at the very top of the header that runs the width of the page. And you have the actual whitish light gray background that is in the background of the header. The header background area is basically the image that runs from the left to the right side of the page, repeating itself, and it is the background of the header. Okay, so it runs from the top of this green line to the top of this navigation bar and goes from left to right. So if you wanted to change the color of this green line, you would basically create a new image, that is 10 pixels wide by 121 pixels tall, and that can be repeated from left to right. So we've already created an image. I'll just go ahead and show you what it looks like. It's actually this one right here. You can see it uses a blue line at the top instead of a green line. Now you can totally get rid of that line if you want to, or you can do what we've done and just create a different color for it. So we're just going to upload that image here, and we're just going to click Save Changes just so you can see what those two things have done to the site. So we're going to go back and refresh the page. You can see we've got our new logo uploaded here, and we've got our blue lined header background image. Now another thing you can do aside from uploading a different header background image is you can actually change the color of the header background, change it to a solid color if you'd like to. So let's just go ahead and change this to a light blue just to see just to show you how this works. So we're going to click Save Changes and refresh the page, and you can see that our header background has basically been changed to the light blue. Okay, and that's pretty simple. So we don't really like the look of this. Obviously we like the blue look a little better, so we're going to go ahead and just delete this color code and make sure it resets itself, and click Save Changes, and we'll get rid of that color we put in here, and our custom background image will be back in its place. Now if we wanted to get rid of any image that we've uploaded, just click this red X here and it'll actually delete the image and it will return back to the default settings. Okay, so let's go over to the site background. Now the site background is basically what you see, the site background. You can see it's a light gray color. Now you can actually upload a custom background image if you'd like. We would actually recommend just using the solid color picker tool here. It's a little bit easier. So let's just go ahead and change this to something obvious just to show you how it works. We'll change it to a light blue and see what happens. Go ahead and just click Save Changes, and you can see how our site background has changed to light blue. Let's move on down here. We've got our navigation bar colors here. If we want to change this green, change it from this green to maybe an orange or something, let's go ahead and do that. Or we'll change it to a dark blue to match this little blue look we're going after here. So we'll go under nav bar color, and this is actually a gradient. You can actually select a different top color and a different bottom color to give it like a gradient effect if you wanted to. So just start right here where it says enter your custom navbar top color. Just enter in the top color that you want there. We're going to use a little bit darker of a blue. And enter your custom navbar bottom color. Now this is going to be the bottom color of the gradient. Okay, now if you wanted your nav bar to be a solid color, you would basically enter the same color codes here. Okay, so let's see what this looks like so far. Click Save Changes. Go back and refresh the page, and you can see how our navigation bar has changed to blue. Now you can see these little green lines in between the pages. Those have their separate settings. So let's go ahead and change those colors. Go back under General Display Settings. You can see we have Custom Nav Bar Left Border Color and Custom Nav Bar Right Border Color. So we would recommend changing these to the same colors you're using here. So what we like to do is for the nav bar top color, use that as the left border color, and as the nav bar bottom color, use that as the right border color. And that gives it a nice little look. Let's go ahead and just click Save Changes. See what that looks like. Alright, so you can see our navigation bar is coming along pretty nicely. We basically changed it from green all the way over to a nice blue color. So the main nav bar selector is a feature that we actually decided to take out of our theme. So by the time you watch this video, this actual area here will not appear in the theme. This area has basically been replaced with this gradient color picker here. So just ignore this where it says main nav bar selector. This will not be here by the time you download your themes and watch this video. Nav bar text. This is basically where you can change the style of the text in the navigation bar. So you can see the default text is Times New Roman. We can change it to Arial if we wanted to, and we can change the color. You can see right now that it's white. So let's go ahead and just change it to. Let's just change it to something silly just so it stands out. Let's change it to green, and we'll change it back after. And then we want to enter a. If you wanted to enter a custom background color for your text, now this is basically a shadow. Just helps it stand out more on the background of the navigation bar. Let's just go ahead and enter in like a dark green here, and click Save Changes. Now this is probably going to look silly by the time it refreshes, but that's the point. So you can see we've got our Arial text, and it's actually green, and I don't know if you can see it, but there is a background shadow to the text, and it's like a dark green. Now if you notice when I hover over these pages, the text actually changes. That's because we've went ahead and we've added a separate setting for the hover text. So we're calling, whenever you mouse over a page, that's called the hover text or the hover background. So if you want it to look the same, if you don't want your text to change when you hover over it, then you basically copy your settings down to where it says navbar hover text. We want to keep the same font style, but maybe we want to change the color a little bit. Maybe we want to change the color to, I don't know. We'll change it to something obvious and something silly looking. We'll change it to blue, just again for demonstration purposes. Let's go ahead and refresh the page. And we'll see when we hover over it, you can see the text changes to blue. Okay. Now again, you can put in whatever colors you want here. And I'm just using these colors here as an example to show you. So let's move on down. We've got our sub-menu settings. Now we've got our sub-menu color, sub-menu hover color, and we've got sub-menu text. You can see that our sub-menu is white with green text. And when we hover over it, we have a little grayish color. So let's go ahead and change those settings. Our sub-menu color, again, has a gradient color picker. So we want to change it from white. Let's say we want to change it to blue to match our navigation bar. Let's go up here and just copy these colors. And I'm just going to paste these down here just so it matches the navigation bar. And we want to enter in a color here for the actual outline of the navigation bar. You can see that our navigation bar has a light gray outline. Let's say we want to change that to like black or something like that. We'd basically enter in that color in here. And let's click Save Changes to see what happens. You can see that our submenu, although it does look ugly, has been changed to blue with a solid black outline. Now you can see that the text doesn't really stand out on that blue background. So let's go ahead and change the color of the text. Submenu hover color, or submenu text, sorry. Submenu text. We're going to change that to Arial, and let's say we want to change the color to white. And let's go ahead and just click Save Changes. And you can see that has been changed to white. Now we got to change the hover settings because again we don't see the text now. Let's go back to General Display Settings and let's change the submenu hover color. Let's say we wanted to change it to yellow for some strange reason. Let's go ahead and just enter in our yellow settings here. And let's click Save Changes. And you can see that when we hover over it, we have a yellow background. Now, obviously, these colors probably wouldn't be used in a real site because they're hideous, but I just wanted to use them to make it obvious to you. Now, the last setting we have here is the page button color. Now, the page button color is basically this button here, where you see it used on Get a Quote on the home page, and on the location map page, you can see that it's the actual button where it says Get Directions. So here's where you'd actually change the color of that button. Let's say we wanted to change it to match the navigation bar. Let's go up here and we'll select the colors for our nav bar and we'll paste it on down here. Make our button match the navigation bar and click Save Changes. And let's refresh our page and you can see that the button has been changed to a nice blue that matches the nav bar. So that's pretty much it for the general display settings. Again, take your time and go through this stuff, and again, you'll be able to customize your site to look however you want without even having to touch a line of code. So that's it, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video.